Hi, this is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. Now, there's always a sprinkle of mystery and magic when we consider the man, woman, girl or boy behind a song. And when we hear one of those inspirations has passed away, it can urge us to more closely examine the passion that led to that great track. On the 9th of March this year, Claire Alden McIntyre Ross, the girl behind the inspiration for Harry Chapin's 1972 hit Taxi, died. So, who was Sue in the Taxi? How did they meet? And why did she inspire such beautiful creativity in the late great Harry Chapin? To take us to the root of the story, we need to go back to the late summer of 1960, when Harry and his brother Tom Chapin were about to embark on the summer as counsellors for the Herald Tribune's Fresh Air Fund camp. Arriving to work for a neighbouring camp was the young and very beautiful Claire Alden McIntyre Ross. Tom remembers seeing her first. He recalls, "I was in the camp's main drag and I saw this beautiful girl pull up in a hot little yellow sports car. She sort of flirts with me, but I'm a scared kid and I semi-flirted with her. But I mentioned her to Harry, who was 2 years older and much more outgoing, and they hooked up together that summer." The relationship was not without its challenges. Claire from Scarsdale was the daughter of former Scarsdale Mayor Malcolm McIntyre, who was also the former president of Eastern Airlines. He made it very clear that he didn't approve of Chapin, who, at the time, had very little by the way of a plan. He insisted Harry take aptitude tests in order to establish his strengths in a bid to identify his future career. But the problem was, Harry was very intelligent and he passed all of those tests with flying colours, giving Mr. McIntyre very little to work with. The romance survived the summer and became a full-time relationship, but just couldn't go anywhere. So why the taxi? Well, Claire was never allowed to take the subway and her parents always insisted that she ride a cab when getting about, which they always paid for. Chapin, having taken out a hack driving licence in New York, was waiting to report on his first official night driving on the Monday night. But he spent the whole weekend fretting about the possibility of Claire getting into his taxi. What happens if Claire gets in my cab? What am I going to say? He would never actually drive a taxi, but that weekend sowed the seed for the song's idea. Though changing Claire's name to Sue and the city from New York City to San Francisco, the imagined reunion realised itself through music. Something about her was familiar. I could swear I'd seen her face before, but she said, "I'm sure you're mistaken," and she didn't say anything more. And she said, "How are you, Harry?" I said, "How are you, Sue?" Through the too many miles and too little smiles, I still remember you. And she said, "We must get together," but I knew it'd never be arranged. Then she handed me $20 for a 52 fare. She said, "Harry, keep the change." Harry Chapin first played that song out on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in 1972. And according to some reports, Johnny immediately invited him back the next night. Other records say it may have been a month later, but in either case, Carson's respect for Chapin gave his career a tremendous jumpstart. Harry's youngest brother Steve was fond of saying Harry always tended to pen a going into a relationship song and a going out of the relationship song. And his brother Tom muses, "I'm not sure what Claire's going out of the relationship song was. Maybe it was Taxi." This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. You can shop for the greatest selection of music gear on earth in store or at guitarcentre.com.